Welcome, listeners, to the Real Crime Diary, Daily Dose of Crime. Today we dive into a shocking case that left investigators baffled and a community in fear. What happens when a seemingly simple crime turns into a national headline? Our story begins with a murder that would change lives forever and challenge the very foundations of justice. In the quiet town of Columbia, South Carolina, 1997 was about to take a dark turn. On a seemingly ordinary night, convenience store clerk Irene Granger Graves was working her usual shift. Irene, a single mother of three, had no idea that this night would be her last. The details of what happened next are chilling. Freddy Eugene Owens entered the store armed and dangerous. In a moment of terror, Irene was shot, leaving her children without a mother and a community in shock. Owens was quickly apprehended and charged with Irene's murder. The trial that followed seemed straightforward, with evidence pointing squarely at Owens. He was found guilty and sentenced to death. But this is where our story takes an unexpected turn. Owens' case, which at first appeared to be an open and shut conviction, would go on to captivate the nation with its twists and turns. From disturbing letters to last-minute claims of innocence, the saga of Freddy Eugene Owens was far from over. As Freddy Eugene Owens awaited his fate on death row, a series of disturbing letters came to light, revealing a darker side to his personality. These letters, addressed to a woman named Aisha, paint a picture of a man consumed by obsession and anger. In one chilling message, Owens wrote, "Not a day goes by without me thinking of you." But his words quickly took a sinister turn. He demanded answers from Aisha, telling her to quit bull-sucking with his emotions. His paranoia became evident as he accused her of betraying him, writing, "I heard you signed statements against me." Perhaps most unsettling were his thinly veiled threats. Owens penned, "When I get out, and that's a fact, I have no words for those who betrayed me, just anger." He even went so far as to remind Aisha of his violent past, stating, "You know the things I've done, you know what I'm capable of doing." But just as Owens' execution seemed certain, a surprising twist emerged. His co-defendant, Stephen Golden, came forward with a sworn statement claiming Owens wasn't even present at the scene of the crime. Golden alleged he had been coerced into implicating Owens out of fear of receiving the death penalty himself. This last-minute revelation threw the case into chaos, raising questions about the integrity of the original conviction and the justice system as a whole. Despite this new information, the courts remained unconvinced, and Owens' execution proceeded as planned. As Freddy Eugene Owens' execution day approached, he made his final meal request, and it was nothing short of extravagant. Owens ordered a well-done ribeye steak, 2 cheeseburgers, 6 chicken wings, French fries, a piece of apple pie, and 2 strawberry sodas. It's a meal that would make any fast food lover envious, but for Owens it was to be his last taste of earthly pleasures. Despite the lavish meal, Owens' fate was sealed. In a dramatic turn of events, his co-defendant signed a sworn statement just 2 days before the execution, claiming Owens wasn't even in the area when the murder took place. This last-minute attempt to save Owens' life threw the case into turmoil, but ultimately it wasn't enough to sway the South Carolina Supreme Court. On September 20th, amidst controversy and protests, Freddy Eugene Owens was put to death by lethal injection at the Broad River Correctional Institution in Columbia. His final words were a simple bye to his attorney. With his passing, Owens became the first person to be executed in South Carolina in 13 years, marking a somber milestone in the state's history of capital punishment. The tradition of last meals has captivated public interest for decades, offering a glimpse into the final moments of those condemned to death. This practice, rooted in compassion and humanity, allows inmates to choose their final meal before execution. Over the years, we've seen requests ranging from simple comfort foods to elaborate feasts. One of the most infamous cases involved Lawrence Russell Brewer in Texas. In 2011, Brewer ordered an excessive last meal that included a triple meat bacon cheeseburger, a cheese omelet, a large bowl of fried okra, 3 fajitas, a pizza, ice cream, and more. However, when the meal arrived, Brewer refused to eat it, claiming he wasn't hungry. This act of defiance led to significant changes in Texas. State Senator John Whitmire, outraged by the waste, successfully pushed to end the long-standing tradition of last meal requests in Texas prisons. Now, death row inmates in the state receive the same meal as other prisoners on the day of their execution. Brewer's case highlights the delicate balance between allowing a final act of choice for the condemned and maintaining the solemnity of the execution process. It also raises questions about the purpose and ethics of this tradition in modern times. When it comes to last meal requests, some death row inmates have made truly bizarre choices. Take James Edward Smith, for example. This convicted murderer asked for a lump of dirt as his final meal. Why? He believed it would help him in a voodoo ritual for reincarnation. Unsurprisingly, prison officials denied his request, and he settled for a pot of yogurt instead. Then there's the case of Victor Harry Feger, who requested just a single olive with the pit still in. Feger's reasoning was equally strange. He hoped an olive tree would grow from his grave as a symbol of peace. Some reports even claim that after his execution, the olive pit was found in his suit pocket. These unusual requests go beyond simple food preferences. They often reveal the inmate's state of mind, their beliefs, or sometimes, a final act of defiance. In Feger's case, the single olive became a powerful image, representing the finality of his situation. Other inmates have requested things like a lump of birthday cake, a single cigarette, or even nothing at all. Each choice tells a story, offering a glimpse into the thoughts of those facing their final moments. Now, let's turn our attention to a recent case that shook Missouri: the execution of Brian Dorsey. On April 9, 2024, Dorsey faced his final moments after years on death row. Despite desperate pleas for clemency from his attorneys, who argued for a life sentence without parole, Dorsey's fate was sealed. Before his execution, Dorsey indulged in a final meal that reads like a fast food lover's dream. He ordered 2 cheeseburgers, chicken strips, 2 large orders of fries, and a loaded pizza. It's a stark contrast to the gravity of his situation. In his last statement, Dorsey expressed deep remorse for his crimes. He wrote, "I am truly, deeply, and overwhelmingly sorry. Words cannot hold the just weight of my guilt and shame." His apology extended to the families of his victims and his own loved ones. Dorsey's case raises questions about rehabilitation and redemption in our justice system. Despite claims of full rehabilitation, the 52-year-old was put to death by lethal injection, becoming the first inmate executed in Missouri this year. As we wrap up today's episode, we're left with questions about justice, redemption, and the rituals surrounding capital punishment. The cases we've explored today raise complex issues about our criminal justice system and the nature of punishment. Could any of these crimes have been prevented? How do we balance justice for victims with the possibility of rehabilitation? And what purpose do last meals and final statements serve in the execution process? These are questions without easy answers, but they're crucial for us to consider as a society. We'd love to hear your thoughts on these cases and the broader issues they raise. Share your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth explorations of true crime stories. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.